Pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge of allegiance.
Flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There. The minutes from the village board meeting on August 26th. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of August 26, 2025.
Is that Fran? I did. Councilman Fran, thank you. Any comments on the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. Public comment. At this time, we'll take a 2-minute opportunity for citizens to voice their opinions of the village board. Village board cannot respond to the conflict of meeting requirements. Dale will be timing us for 2 minutes each. If you do the I sign, your time's up. And so if you want to address us, you need to approach the microphone, give us your name and address. And we'll start out with people that signed in. And first, Becky. Put on the list. Hi, Becky.
I'd like to think of myself Becky Gerard, 507 Hialeah Drive. I like to think of myself as a positive, optimistic, and happy person. However, I also like to listen to what people have to say, even though it may not be what I would agree with. But I also want it based on facts and research. The reason I chose to speak today is because I'm deeply troubled by the prospect of having a data center here in Caledonia. I found that initial construction jobs appear to be numerous, but then those taper off. The data center does not employ many people. From what my research indicates, it's usually about 25 to 35 people. The environmental impact needs to be addressed as well. The amount of water and electricity being used to sustain these centers should send alarm bells on any reasonable person. Plus the effect it will have on pollution, electric usage, higher utility bills for the consumer. I'm all for growing and expanding Caledonia. I'm also pro-business. However, I don't see or have heard any positives to moving forward with the data center. Please vote no to the data center and find another way to move Caledonia forward.
That's got a lot. But I can say your name on it. 5 letters long and 1 syllable. Other than that, it's really hard. I'll play Mr. Weatherman. That's close enough. Last Friday, I sent everyone on board in the Planning Commission an email introducing myself and offering my technology industry expertise, given the magnitude of the data center deal. Disappointingly, I've received very little response. As a way of reintroduction, I recently completed a 38-year career in technology. I led a team that built the U.S. Treasury's federal tax payment system. I was line of business CIO for U.S. Bank's payments business. I served on MasterCard's Technology Advisory Board. I've managed large budgets and project portfolios. Now retired, I periodically consult with PricewaterhouseCoopers, who quite literally introduces me to their clients as an industry expert. And you can verify all of that on LinkedIn if you don't believe me. And yes, I live in Little Caledonia and have for 12 years. Perhaps I'm underestimating your collective expertise in technology. Perhaps you don't have any questions I can answer for you. Perhaps you know the industry's history. For example, perhaps you know why so many data center providers went bankrupt in the year 2000. Perhaps you know what virtualization is and why it had such a dramatic effect on data center capacity in the early 2000s. Perhaps you know what software improvements are on the horizon that might impact near-term data center capacity needs. Perhaps you're well aware of the average lifespan of a data center. Or perhaps you're underestimating how much you don't know that you don't know. Documents publicly available convince me you're nowhere near ready to make a decision, that you don't know the right questions to ask to assess the village's risk, that you are trusting the developer a little too much. Surrounding yourselves with people who will agree with you and blocking out other uncomfortable perspectives is a great way to get to the yes answer, but not a great way to get to the right answer. My offer of help still stands. Prove wrong the cynics, many of whom are behind me, that believe you've already made up your mind. Thank you. Greg Fisher?
I won't take my full 2 minutes. I just found out about this maybe a day or two ago. My name is Greg Visser, 7529 West River Road. Just found out about this a couple of days ago, and I always laugh at work if I find out about it. Everyone now knows about this, so it's out there for everybody. I'm a lifelong Caledonia resident, born and raised here. My wife and I took a 10-year respite, about 10 years in Cedarburg, moved back here 15 years ago. A little more context, I have a distrust of government, I have a distrust of public utilities, I very much have a distrust for companies that won't name themselves, which I believe what this is. I'm against both the rezoning and I'm also against the data center. I would consider myself pro-business. I'm in a capitalist job that I do. I'm all for it, but to put it where it is, I'm definitely against. I'm against it for environmental reasons. I'm against it for what it may do for our well water and the water of the community. And I would also say that I moved here because I'm a country kid, and I believe this community would be best served to stay rural, where it's agriculture and residential. And for that reason, I'm against what you guys are trying to do. Thank you. Valerie Benson. Hi, Val. How are you?
Valerie Lansell, 10810 Seven Mile Road. This deal is financially reckless for Caledonia. We're being asked to give up the village's natural beauty and character in exchange for promises of future tax revenue from a developer who has not committed to a timeline or a full project scope. This is a multi-million-dollar gift to We Energies, while the taxpayer gets nothing in return. Look next door to Oak Creek. Decades of aggressive development did not lower their taxes. In fact, it just brought more heat and congestion. If this project delivers $2 million a year in tax revenue to the village, and you rebate that to residents, the median homeowner gets $186. Ask everyone in this room, do you want open space or $186? Our village character is certainly worth more than that. You have not told us how this money would be used. I ask you, why do you believe this is the community's best interest? The proposal fundamentally contradicts our village's identity as defined in our 2035 land use plan. That plan, shaped by the public, prioritizes the preservation of rural character, agricultural lands, and environmental corridors. This project requires a special amendment, undermining our entire community's long-term vision and the reasons why most of us choose to live here. Highlighting Auburn, Virginia, Ashburn, its model is laughable. Once open farmland, it is now so populated, its density is 5 times that of our own. It's destroyed their open space. This is a failure, not a model to follow. Both our village plan and the Racine County plan explicitly protect these areas. Let's honor the commitment to our residents and not amend the last land use plan. Finally, the negative impacts on residents are severe and guaranteed. Neighbors will face years of construction, lots of noise, light pollution, and lots of wildlife. Please.
I'm Hero Arlington. I live at 6108 Highway 31. And I just want to make a couple of points, either for or against, just something you need to think about. Back in 2000, I got involved a little bit with the rezoning proposal at Highway 31 and 4 Mile Road. And the reason I got involved, was president of the Caledonia Conservancy, and Conservancy had interest in the rezoning. And at the time, that property was 10 acre, was worth about $150,000 based on land price at the time, 250,000. The developers came in with a beautiful proposal, great architectural renderings, detailed plans. We're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do all kinds of stuff in that long document that they presented to the village. The village granted the rezoning and a change in land use plan. It's now been 5 years, nothing has happened. The land is idle. In the meantime, the village has collected $250 a year, roughly, in property taxes. Per person, that's not really a lot, but maybe 10 cents or 1 cent. But anyway, that land today is listed, is for sale, listed at $1.1 million. So that particular rezonings, some developers, some people involved in this suddenly made $1 million. And nothing's happened. The plan is scrubbed. Nothing has happened. So, and now they're trying to sell it and get some money. Great investment for the people involved. For the village, not so much. The other thing is, in this current case, the village, which has a budget around $20 million a year or so, are negotiating with someone we don't know. We don't know who's behind it. And chances are, whoever's behind the project is worth 1,000 times less. For them, it's like flipping 50 cents to someone that's trying to shoes is worth nothing. But for them, offering to pay research is pocket change.
Thank you for sitting in the front. It's like church. Everyone sits in the back.
Hi, I'm Sandy Wilson, 8804 Foley Road. And I'm not here about my tax assessment, but I'm here about trees. Something happened this weekend that has made a very personal touch on this rezoning issue, the status. And that is, I own 55 acres on the corner of County Line and Foley Road, prime horse property, and it's the north end trail of the Caledonia Conservancy. And I had people that were extremely interested in buying 5 acres. This weekend I found out they told me they're not buying it because of the possible rezoning and status. So all of you up there on the board, think about how much this problem has cost one citizen of California. Thank you.
Garfield, 5147. Seen me here before, and so I reiterate the things that everybody behind me is saying. I stand with them in opposition to this big time. We are all alarmed about it, and we're not being quiet. Just for the sake of today, I wanted to let you know that we are having petitions electronically signed, and as of today, we have 746 signatures for our electronic petition, and we have approximately 150 words recognized form of civil engagement. We are pointing that out so that you realize that we do have a lot more people than just what you see and hear. And there's a lot more coming. And not only that, but even just as of today, as of this week, we received 130 of those signatures just this week. So the momentum is growing and it's not going to calm down from the numbers that you're going to see that in opposition. So let you guys know we are being active and trying to let you hear that it's not just a few of us that are in here that feel this way. It is a mass majority of us.
Chris Atkinson, 6205 Highway 31. Last time I was here a couple weeks ago was my first time in the board meeting since I moved to Caledonia back in 2016. And I just wanted to sit in and understand the process, understand who you folks are. I spoke to Nancy after the meeting, and I told her that you guys work very hard, and I appreciate that, and I respect all the time that you give to this for such a relatively small stipend. So thanks for that. You represent us. That's a message I resonated last time. I know that you listen to a panel of people or experts or planning committee or whatever they are that give you recommendations. I didn't vote for them. I'm sure the people here don't care what they have to say as much as I don't care what they have to say, as much as you guys represent us and care about us. So it's deafening the sound that's coming from the community that I've been hearing about residents a long time. You've been here longer than me. Environmental experts, engineers, building experts. They have stories that they know about this village that I don't. And I think hearing them is probably one of the most important things. So taking feedback in this, not from the planners who are likely receiving specialty incentives behind the scenes to advance this project, or the offers that are being paid to people to advance this. Look into it, it exists. We created a website, nodata.center, so www.nodata.center. You can go there, you can get some information, you can get some facts, and read the public input and the comments that people have written on there, as it's been compiled by some people who are far more expert in the environment and the way and the energy consumption than me. I'm asking that instead of answering to a planning committee or board or panel, that you answer for your people.
Right.
Say more. Carl? Carl. What's your last name, sir? Shai. Sorry. I got both. I'm Carl Scheid, 7325 Philly Road. I've been a village resident for 11 years. And prior to that, I lived in Kenosha County. And during that time, I served as a town board member and many years on the town planning commission, and was active during the time that we made our land use plan. And the town developed land use plans so that when developers came to town and they proposed a development, we went to the land use plan and said, does it fit or not fit? And reviewing the plan for the We Energy site there got me to look on the Bionics app and saw, boy, there's a lot more land that We Energy owns there. East of Vining Road, west. And we're talking about rezoning a portion. But we don't have the plan for the rest of it. And since this plan doesn't fly with the land use plan for 2035, well, we need to develop a land use plan that encompasses the whole. Because once you rezone that, spot rezone that, then you're going to spot rezone the property next to it when the energy comes before you or the developers do that. And then there's going to keep going. Now you're west of it. So you have a special commission to look at the land use for 2050.
all right? So I don't think any decision on that property or the We Energies property that we're hoping to develop should be done until you've done the land use plan of 2050. All right?
Thank you, Carl.
So I wish to offer, I still work, but I offer my expertise within parts of planning commission and helping write the land use plan for our prior town. If you take volunteers for a special committee or the planning commission.
I'll put you on the reserve list.
Okay.
Joanne LaFave.
Good evening. I'm Joanne LaFave. I live at 6934 Mile Road. I've lived in Caledonia for the last 27 years. And I'm ashamed to say I only just learned about the data center 3 days ago. And I'm pretty shocked about it. I'm gonna look to see if there's some website or some email place I can give my email so that I can hear of what's being discussed at the board meetings. But I tried to look on the internet to see about this specific plan. What is all involved? How big is this data center? How much power is it going to use? How much water is how much power are we using of the capable power that's available to us? Are we already maxing that out? And then a data center would put us over. Are we only using 70% and we have plenty of power to spare? I know that they're going to keep open the unit 7 and 8, I believe, in Oak Creek to try to provide more power before the new gas power plants, natural plants. But that would seem to indicate to me that we are already kind of maxing out the amount of power that's available. And so I'm concerned, and then looking on the internet for different size data centers. Some use far more power than others. Is the water going to come from Lake Michigan? I feel bad because I'm late to this game. Maybe this was all discussed in detail prior to that. But it seems like these things need to be looked at so that we taxpayers know how this is going to actually affect us. Are we going to be short of power because we are giving it delay any kind of vote so we can get more information?
Paula Pintar, 7348 Bonnie Road, Caledonia, Wisconsin, protesting the rezoning of the data center. During the August board meeting, Carrie Jerving, Visit Racine County, provided 2024 tourism data. County tourism generated a record $555 million. Tourism increased part-time and full-time jobs to almost 4,000, and it was up 3.4%, and generated $30.1 million in local tax revenue, up 7%. Direct visitor spending increased 6.4%, bringing in $318 million to the county. She then specifically called out the village of Caledonia and wanted to mark the positives of the village, that being rural, agricultural, setting to draw people in for nature, biking, hiking, and equestrian sports. We are unique in what we have to offer our tourists and our residents. This fits with our comprehensive plan, not rezoning for an industrial park right in the middle of our natural resources. To note, during 2013 and 2017, there have been 7 rezone amendments published that affect our comprehensive plan. This equates to almost 400 acres of recreation and medium density that has now been moved to commercial and industrial. The data center rezone does not fit with our comprehensive plan. Carving out our precious resources to other big corporations, do we all want to look like the cookie cutter developments and lose our identity? Again, noting Oak Creek. The proposed rezone will negatively affect all of the following key areas noted in our comprehensive plan. Wetlands, groundwater, woodlands, per our comprehensive plan, contribute immeasurably to the natural beauty of the county. Natural areas. This section of the village that is proposed, we will lose 7 out of the 59 identified in the county that will be lost with this rezoning. Critical spaces. This section of the village, if rezoned, we will lose 4 of the 34 areas identified in the county that will be lost. Primary environmental corridors and isolated natural resources. To quote the comprehensive plan, recognize that preservation of such areas is vital to both the maintenance and the overall environmental quality of the region and to the continued provision of amenities required to maintain a high quality of life for the resident population. How do the village and planning boards plan to maintain our village integrity with these direct conflicts to our comprehensive plan?
Marcia Bueller, 36. My husband recently built a new lived here. I've lived here since 2009. He's lived here longer than that. And, you know, we chose to stay here because of the character of this community. I will say that, you know, the process of building a home was extremely complicated. Caledonia has a lot of rules and regulations. We jump through hoops, it feels like. And to find out that something as significant as coming in, we don't even know who's behind it. Some anonymous company. It feels so odd to me that a resident would have so many requirements, so many things that they have to adhere to, and yet something like this comes along and we don't even ask who it is. I mean, I can't imagine that you would have let me build my house without telling me who I was. This company, whoever it is, they want our land, they want our water, they have no commitment to our community, they're in it for profit only. Data centers like this are probably going to be obsolete in 5 to 10 years. We are going to be left with some kind of an albatross if they even build it. If you rezone it, now they have rezoned property that they have, and we don't even know what would go on there. So I am just here to advocate in support of the land use plan. It's the reason why my husband and I decided to stay here. We wanted to know what our community was going to look like. We wanted the security of that. And I just ask you to consider the long-term unknown consequences of any short-term gains.
So that exhausted the list. Does anybody else like to take a comment? I have a couple of comments that I think you need to, we have the same frustrations about who it is, that kind of stuff. So I think you all hit the nail on the head, but our understanding, so I'm gonna tell you, keep your eye on our agendas, meetings. Our understanding is that that petitioner will be here at the next board meeting, and that they're gonna do a public meeting after that. So, we're very good people in Caledonia, we're very respectful of each other. So this is our opportunity, so I don't think we have a date on it.
I'm going to caution you because this item is not on your agenda, so I would suggest that you not talk further about it.
So keep an eye on our agenda, meetings, agendas online. Thank you. Okay, thank you everyone for being here. It's nice to have an audience. So a lot of times we do business and there's nobody here. Okay, so thank you for that. All right, we'll move on then to ordinance 2025-09, repeal and replace Title 3, Chapter 3, Section 7 related to destruction of records. We'll take the committee of the whole.
Mm-hmm.
vote on it.
Any discussion on that motion?
No, but so that the audience knows, what we're doing is coordinating our destruction of records rules, which were a little patchwork, with what the state requires. We're just matching it.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 2025-9 carried. So ordinance 2025-10, amending Title 7, Chapter 2, Section 7-2-4, 7-2-7 to create Section 7-2-20, all relating to permitted malt beverages and intoxicating liquor to include temporary extensions of licensed premises.
I'll move to approve ordinance number 2025-10.
I'll second it.
Dale, thank you. Any discussion on this item?
Think if we should state again and explain the connection to it.
Thank you. So this is, there's a few items on here that are just going to clean up, adjustments to the fee schedule, removing that it's actually laid out in the ordinance, and moving that to a fee schedule that is still approved by the government. But mostly it was to add a section to allow for a list premise, and typically would be a bar, with a class B liquor license, to temporarily extend their premise so that we can have a special event in an area on the property where they normally would not be allowed to serve alcohol. This has been directly related to another item later on the agenda for the Bridgeland's last Children's Charity event, this is an event that has been happening throughout the community for many years. But this was kind of like an oversight and ordinance and technically allow for, certain areas to be built, like this is current spot, where we can allow for the residents of any areas in the residential.
Thank you for that explanation. Hopefully we have a motion made and further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ordinance carries. Resolution 2025-066, authorizing payment to West Bend Insurance Automobile Company and or Michael and Amy Conley for auto loss claim on behalf of Michael and Amy.
I'll move to approve resolution 2025-066.
Diane and Dale, any discussion on this item? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 66 carries. New business approval of AV checks. Can somebody?
We don't have Lee.
Lee's not here. Can you look it up real
Mike.
quick? Mike, you got it?
Usually Lee Wishaw looks at all of the, I mean, we get a whole long itemized list of checks and expenses that were paid, and Lee Wishaw usually does it, and just agree with him. That's pretty good. Should we do that?
The approval of EV checks, $3,060,160.
There's a motion, there's a second, please.
That's second.
A motion, second, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Racine County Public Safety Radio System Operator. Chief, did you want to speak to this item or? Chiefs? Which one is it?
Three.
Still working on?
Working out.
Good.
It is.
You hear me? The Sioux County Radio Communications Center, they're, to make it very blunt, the towers, the radio systems are very old. They're no longer serviceable, failing.
Yeah.
We've got those systems over the last couple
Doesn't
of
show
years.
he's muted.
Radio-
Is it showing up on there? Yeah. Barely.
The parts of the radio systems old, and losing time, parts off heating, well, sounds awful, but that's what we do. The county has, put together a plan to purchase a radio system for the county. Cost of that was $23 million, and signed a contract last year in November, I believe. In that contract, they credited each municipality with a set of radios.
based upon certain standards, police vehicles, fire department vehicles, seating standards, maintenance standards. And our, on the fire department side, we're accredited $491,508 and change. With that, we're supposed to supply mobile radios that go inside the rigs, and portable radios for individuals to use. This memo that I have for the board is how we decided to spend that, I guess, credit to do the job at the end of the day.
And then just to add, there's a corresponding memo from the police department to outline the credit that we received and what we be purchasing with our funds.
Okay, is there an action on this side?
There's no action needed on this item, it's just informational.
Thank you very much. Approval of temporary extensions for premises on Joy West. Unfortunately, we revised our ordinances and we got rid of the festival part. And not yet. You want approval? No, but, so we're gonna shout ourselves on the foot with what we're doing. So Joey, through his several bars, has done fundraisers for communities. And, we've done them before, but with our new ordinance, it's not allowed. So we want to extend the premises into the parking lot for one day, Sunday, actually next Sunday. So they can do a fundraiser for the Raymond Fire Department. And they've already made arrangements to park at the vacant bank next door. So there'll be no cars in the parking lot. And they have already, because that bar sits on the village line, they've already got approval from Mount Pleasant to go ahead and block off the street. So we need to approve a temporary extension of Joey's.
I'll move to approve a temporary extension of the premises for Joey's West.
I'll second.
Thank you very much. Any discussion other than that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. We will adjourn the board meeting and move on into the committee of the whole.